map here. Over on the left, we have our pros showing up from all the way across the pond. Right is going to be our development team here, or team in. We'll see how well they can face off against our pros. It's not looking good for the team on the right, that's what I'll say, but who knows? Maybe they'll come through and end up winning something for us here.
I wish I could be, you know, a believer in, there's no luck really in Quake, so unfortunately, like I said, they're up against it. But hey, you know, you got to make them work a little bit. Like I said, make the pros sweat. I said maybe they got some tricks up their sleeve on the new map that the pros haven't played too much. We saw them kind of give Liquid a little run for their money yesterday. Maybe they can do the same thing today. Yeah,
no RNG to be seen here in Quake. It's all about skill at the end of the day, and that is something that these 4 players on the left have a whole bunch of, and for the guys on the right, well, maybe not as much, but we'll have to figure that out once we do get them in. 0-4 is probably in an okay position, but
there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do as one player, yeah. You need to see something from the other 3 before you know you completely have to go in and try to carry the ship for yourself.
Yeah, and it, kind of going back to the matches we saw yesterday between Team Liquid and Noctis, Fazz, Stermy, and Toxic, those players from Europe. I really just they took out Team Liquid, who, I mean, it's a really good team with Rafa, to Hang. I mean, they have solid Quake players on that roster. These guys are top notch. They've obviously been working on their team cohesion, you know, their team play. They got some strategies already in place that seems like they're working on. So yeah, the devs are up against it today.
Yeah, these Europeans are super coordinated, already trying to get themselves together and set up a team for upcoming competition surrounding Sacrifice. So they have themselves prepared for this one, and it's going to be a tough match for our developers to be able to try and win here. The players themselves in the game should just be getting through their champion selection now, and as soon as they do load into the actual server, we'll be jumping into this match and we'll be getting started, taking ourselves into the action here to see if the devs can fight it all here against our European professional team. We have plenty more action besides this to come a little bit later on. We'll be doing more 1v1s later too, so if you guys are here with us in the arena, be sure to stick around. And if you're watching on the stream, don't change that channel. Well, let's get into it, however. Jumping into this match, Fazz starting off with some great control around the spawned area here for that soul, and the pros immediately are going to be able to pick that up and secure the soul for themselves over inside of their own obelisk.
Yeah, earlier today I was commenting Fazz once again just showing great rocket placement, bouncing people around and then hitting those follow-up shots along the wall. That's just solid play.
Yeah. Toxic in the meanwhile here over on the other side of the map, just trying to cause some havoc for the newly spawned in dev team players. And they're going to be trying to work their way through, along with controlling that mega health, of course. Now that he's got that, he can move a little bit closer and start to regroup. It did look like that Sponge was able to get himself in there for a moment to try and steal that soul, but he was taken out by Stermy, who's been here defending this ever since this orb has gone down onto the ground a few moments ago, and the soul has not moved once since that point, besides the one theft, which didn't even go outside of the goal zone, just get dropped right back into the point. Toxic sneaking in, snipes out 0-4 with the rails. It's not seeming like our dev team for mid is able to get much going at this point.
Yeah, they're, like I said, they're up against it. They're getting out-fragged right now, not to mention the positional, you know, the team play work that they're doing. They're taking good position. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, with Toxic waiting until he gets right up in the face of 0-4 and then just blowing him up with the rocket. Beautifully done. Here though, with a nice rail himself, does take down Toxic just a few seconds later, but they still cannot get that soul off of the point. And even when it looks like they're going to have some good power to move into it, look at this play from Toxic. All he has is the SMG and the rails, and he's still able to move in and do massive damage and then delay long enough for his teammates to move in and prevent that last player from escaping with the soul.
Coming up, this is going to be the devs' chance right now. They need that power up. And of course, as we're talking about their coordination, look, they're Toxic and company, they're just all over it. They were there ready, guarding it, and easy pickup for them.
They've already got that control, and now they're going to look to exercise upon that even more as they send the quad back over to the point to just dominate against anyone that would look to challenge them. Already up at 90% here on this round. We may have ourselves a 100-0 round if things continue in the way that they're looking right now. But the devs close to stealing it. However, breakdown at 0-4 get knocked off of that point. With us seeing Sponge get eliminated, that is going to lead to the sacrifice of the pros obelisk, and they'll take quick control of round number 1.
Wow, they just ran right through them. These guys are good. These guys are good.
Definitely.
But, I mean, it's just amazing. I think it reminds me about why I should stay retired.
Well, yeah, the pros are good, of course, but they've had many free hours to be able to delve into this game with, to be able to try and perfect their skills. Toxic next up to bat here. Sinker trying to use the trail to force Toxic off the top, but it didn't work. They almost locked him down a few seconds later there with that lightning gun spam, but it just didn't prove to be enough. So Toxic still inside, and the immediate D-stealth right inside of the Soul allows them to grab it, and once again, just run it back over here towards B. Now they're actually going to have to steal it, as the devs apparently were the ones that managed to escape with it. Surprising to me, I didn't realize that they had stolen it away. Look at the pros had it handily, but apparently one of the devs, I believe that was a Nick, was that Nixon that managed to pop back up, surprise, steal the Soul, and quickly steal it and take it back over to their obelisk.
Looks like it was short-lived though. I think the pros already got it back.
So they're stacking up over here towards point A. Side of a much bigger area, of course. A little bit more work to try and defend it, but you also get better access to some better power-ups over there. And just a much more open area too, so your team doesn't get crowded. Look at that, it's an absolute massacre over on the A site.
Yeah, the pros are just doing good. They have good position. Toxic still in his zone, hitting his rail after rail. It's gonna be really tough for the devs to push in here.
Continue to pressure outside here. Toxic doing work outside, and Stermy able to take quite a few shots from over by the power-up spawn too, which is going to be happening in just a little bit here. More devs sneaking their way back over, but Sink jumping up on that pad gives his life away to the pro team, and another kill from Stermy just before we go off of his perspective there at the hands of his nice rail play. 0-4 trying to get back into the fight. He was doing good yesterday, but he hasn't been able to match up to that skill so far today, as we do see again the pros under full control of their point, just shoot past the 50% marker here.
And again, this
control round
like they're going to secure this power up. This will probably clinch it unless the devs can do something here. But it looks like they got the protection, the pros did. I don't know how the devs can make a push here. It's going to be really tough with the protection sitting there.
Well, the protection sitting up on top here. Noctis literally just standing on top of the obelisk and firing rockets off from that point. Now that he has the protection, he knows that he can sit there and absolutely destroy anyone that attempts to challenge him. And these devs continue to just get cornered by two groupings of these pro players. Double teaming them left and right. They're not giving any chance at all to these devs, and Stermy leaping out. Goodbye to Sponge.
Looks like Noctis having a little fun there, standing on top of the obelisk the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just mentioning that now.
Yeah.
Stermy just on point with these rockets too. Another dead-on shot. Take down 0-4. That's pretty much going to seal the deal here. Up at 99%. No one's going to be able to contest it in time. Even as breakdown gets over towards there, it's not going to mean much. So we do see the pros take round number 2 quickly, and they're going to take this first map as well.
At the top of the ladder like they are, because they are that competitive, you got to have a little, you got to like the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now we get prepared to jump into our next map here. See if pros or devs, I should say, are actually going to be faring any better this time.
Looks like they're having a good time with it up on stage, though.
Looks like they've got a secret plan for themselves here. Got some secret weapon they're ready to bust out or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they got a secret trick up their sleeve. It's just access to the dev consoles, probably what it is.
So yeah, turn on invulnerability, turn on God mode or something for themselves. That'll give them an edge.
Yeah, just no clip themselves over. But probably not going to be seeing much of that. At least I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
They'll have to fight fairly going into this next map here. We'll just have to rely on that raw skill alone to try and take down our pros here. All right, well, let's get into it now. It's on to the new map. It's Lockbox here that we'll be starting off on for our second map. So let's take a look and see if the devs are going to be faring any better here. Right at the start, Fazz, great control being utilized there. Doesn't even have to move around all that much, but still dominates an opponent with that rocket launcher before getting knocked out and helping his team to try and control the soul spawn area that they're now going to drop back down into, but actually it's looking like the devs get early control of it, as 0-4 is now going to look to run away. He does massive damage himself, gets that double kill. He needs to run though as he's low, but he successfully succeeds in getting his soul over to the obelisk and claiming control of the one that his team wants.
Showing some of those old school skills there. Got that soul, got away. I don't know if they'll be able to keep it up and play a good B, but it was a good start for them.
Stermy's got the soul right now, but the thing is, Stermy's not looking too great either in terms of his HP. If another Dev manages to run into him here and catch him, then they can very easily take Stermy down. For the time being, though, they're going to manage to make it over to the other side of the map with their soul in hand. So they now claim control of Obelisk B, and they'll start to stack their percentage of already past what the Devs had gotten, and now securely in the lead. Won't be seeing a 100-0 round at the very least, but now the Devs need to get themselves back into this fight and get something going for themselves here to keep it competitive at the least.
Yeah, you got to push. You got to coordinate that attack. You got to get these big items, the heavy armor, the mega health, and then again we got the quad coming up. About 35 seconds. It's going to be critical.
Pop from 0-4. There he goes to the dual wield on the Blazkowicz. The problem is there's no targets for him to work off of there, so he has to back up a little bit, looking for the next few shots that he can try to attempt to hit. He's got one rail, but Noctis up the jump pad just destroys him, and now he's got the rail to try and use here to hold on to this site.
Yeah, good coming up the jump pad with the rocket. Definitely not something 0-4 wanted to see at that kind of range. And the rocket launcher is really for newer players. The rocket launcher really is the backbone of any good Quake player. It's so versatile. You can use it in a lot of different situations, and you'll see some great stuff from our pros.
Quad spawning, but going into the control of the Devs. That's going to be short-lived, however, as I do believe now that we did manage to see that going over to the hands of the pros. Yep, pros just picked up the quad power, but in the meantime, they kept no one over on their actual site, so Sponge is going to be able to steal the Obelisk, and now trying to make a run with his soul over to the other side of the map. His team actually did get back the quad, so they've got it going in their favor. Now, they've stolen back the soul, too.
Just like we saw yesterday with Team Liquid. Seems like the Devs giving a little more of a fight on this new map. Maybe they do have some trick up their sleeve.
Ooh, Sponge will very quickly find himself knocked out, however, by Noctis as he slides in for that kill. 0-4, trading one back, but he needs to continue that rampage, and no, Noctis is going to be able to take him down. Breakdown trading onto Noctis, but I don't believe it's going to be enough to actually allow them to go steal it. He's trying to use his Tri-Bolt here. There's a nice jump that we see from Sponge, just going right up on top, using that Tri-Bolt to boost himself up on top to where the Mega Hell spawns, and now getting that pickup as a result of it.
Nice little trick jump there. I'm curious to see, because it fires 3 bolts, I'd like to see people do some directional tricks and directional jumping with it. I bet you can do some really cool things with that.
Well, there is on the new revision of Blood Run that got put back in. Actually, there was a trick that was shown already with the Tri-Bolt. You were able to aim the first bolt at the ground and quickly flick it so that the other 2 bolts go completely out of range, and then use the explosion from that first bolt to jump up and get the full armor kit, where you otherwise couldn't do that if you didn't already have rockets. Actually,
it's funny you mentioned that. I was back practicing during setup. I actually got to go ahead and execute that move with the Tri-Bolt. It's really cool. Like, it got me thinking about all the different things you can do with it. Oh my goodness, what a great mid-air rocket right there. Oh my gosh.
Some good stuff from Stermy as he saves the soul from being run back away from his base. He's going to keep that nicely tucked away over here in point B as the pros continue to push forward. Now past 60%, whereas the Devs actually not too far behind, only at 42% right now, but they could very easily make that comeback happen if necessary. Nicely done on the timing here as well. He uses the trail to make sure no one tries to jump up and challenge it, and he'll be able to get the quad, and now can do some serious damage here.
Little of a problem. I didn't see the Devs anywhere around that quad spawn. They weren't ready. Maybe they were fragged and respawning at the time. But that's critical, to take control. This late in the game, you can't be missing quads.
There were a couple over towards the top. It was just the problem was they weren't really ready to fight for it. Unfortunately, Stermy just surprised, popped in out of nowhere. Nice control of the spray from Stermy. He's gonna look for a little bit more of it here too, and he continues to impact now, fighting off this entire attempt to hit this site and steal the soul, as they manage to temporarily hold control of it, but ultimately will still lose that soul to the Devs here as they get it about halfway across the map before it is put down. But again, they've stolen it, so they may be able to complete this run after all.
Yeah, Devs definitely putting up a fight here, certainly more than the last map.
Toxic as well with the rail, able to move back in, picking up that kill, taking out another member of the Dev team here. But at the same time, over on the other side here, even though they've restored control of it, they still have players trying to sneak in, steal their soul, and stop them from ticking up to 100%. It's not going to be too successful. The pros still hold great control, and Toxic at the helm over here is going to make sure that none of these other Devs are able to sneak in and steal their soul away from their obelisk.
Yeah, time's running out. The Devs probably maybe have one good one. Well, so much for that coordinated attack. Just Toxic.
Here's more of that Toxic early we've been seeing. It was 3 in a row before he finally missed the shot over here, but now he's got the shield, and timing it perfectly. He can hit one more kill before the obelisk gets sacrificed, and our pro team takes control of the first round on this map.
It just seems like when Toxic goes on those streaks, nothing can stop him. Unbelievable.
No, nothing at all here. So only the first of potentially 3 rounds being completed here. Still plenty of action to come in a moment. And we're going to jump right into that, as you can hear.
Soul spawns in 15 seconds.
Hopefully the devs can make some adjustments. Last time they stuffed the Soul early on. You know, a little better defense. Maybe that game's different.
Get right back to that toxic early. We were talking about 0-4 trying to play it up close against the shield, but the shield just completely counters out his attempt to use the shotgun. Devs are going to be able to steal the Soul at first. You can see that red trail moving in behind one of our devs here as Sponge secures it. They once again get their choice of an obelisk pick.
Yeah, 2 games in a row, they stole it first off these pros. That's good. They just need to play a little defense and make sure they get those power-ups. Quad damage will be the, protection or quad, depending which one spawns. That'll be the difference in the match.
Toxic able to go in and steal it, though, before handing it off to a teammate. He himself could actually move pretty quickly if he stays in a straight path there, but he's still going to rely a little bit more on that teammate to complete the run for him, which they'll do with flying colors. Toxic just acting as fire team support here, able to take down anyone that's attempting to follow them. But actually, no, it looks like it got intercepted along the way. So the Soul's now heading back in the other direction, so the devs have taken it. Not for long, though, as again, the pros do retake that control, and now they have the Soul in their obelisk.
0-4 looks like he's getting some frags. Looks like he might be warming up a little bit. But they need some more. He's going to need some help if the devs are going to pull this off.
He's going to be in relatively good shape currently. To line himself up properly here so they can steal this Soul without losing too many of their own players. And there we go, a nice lineup there from 0-4. Gets the double lineup against 2 different players, mass damage. Don't think he hits a kill, unfortunately, but at the very least does do some great damage. Now, Toxic still trying to hold on here. He's got that shield working in his favor, drops the Soul onto the ground, and now in comes another one of the devs to pick this up and complete the run back over to their obelisk. They complete the run, but now Sponge needs to follow through and take down his opponent here, which he's going to succeed in doing.
Dev's doing not bad. That was a nice kill by Sponge there. There's some tri-bolt usage.
Another very aggressive kill too. You can see it. He was only at like 30 HP when he went in there, but still able to take down Toxic with the super shotgun. The power up moving in. Noctis denying the attempt from 0-4 to go claim, but oh no! Noctis missing the jump. That now opens up another opportunity. Misses it again. Noctis just can't get up. Come on, let's get it. No! He got railed off of it. So that's the 3rd time in a row he's missed it. Did someone get it yet? No, it's still up there.
Everybody's missing the jump.
Oh my goodness. There we go. Someone finally got it. Holy.
Oh my gosh.
That took a good 30 seconds for someone to pick that thing up.
This is like 1 missed jump, 2 missed jumps. Oh, he's going to make the 3rd jump. No, he got railed.
Whiffs. So Noctis now back into the fight after his team did claim control over that protection. And with that protection, they're able to have an easy orb run here as we do see Noctis, along with the rest of his team, just running that thing across the map so quickly. Noctis bites off a little bit more than he can chew back over inside of the Rocket Lake, but for Sinker, back over here, he's also trying to quickly steal this away, at the very least get it off the point so they can hold on to it, but Toxic says no to that one. His teammate back over on the point completely denies any attempt to steal that Soul, and Toxic prevents any reinforcements from moving in to complete that attempt to steal it. So now the pros back into having full control over their point, just need to hold on to it now. Toxic.
Yeah.
Then we had control there of that Scale Bear, so just waiting for the comic timing on the spray to be able to finish him off.
A little desperation by Sponge there after those rails. He's trying to get anything going on Toxic.
Well, Sponge back into the fight here now, ready to execute onto this site. And the issue is, though, is he's alone. Probably not against the player you really want to fight in an open 1v1.
I would agree with that, especially the way we've been seeing him play today. He's been going nuts today. And then of course he has the stack with Clutch, and he's playing defense. He's got the shield. It looks like that might be part of their strategy with defense, keeping the Clutch back and letting the other guys roam.
In the meantime, though, the pros are able to hold on and successfully defend their site. There was an attempt made at stealing the Soul, but it was unsuccessful, and now Toxic able to just go back to freely fragging out here. They're only 20% away from controlling this round and taking another 2-0 victory. Toxic nicely done again, finding the full kill after a teammate bounces him into the air. Let's see if he can make this jump this time. He made it successfully, but he got bounced off. So now one of the devs can move in here. They'll claim control over the quad, but 0-4 needs to be careful because he's surrounded by players like Toxic, and he'll be the one to move in, claim that quad, and immediately pick up a double kill for himself. Just as his team is pushing up on 100% as well. They're going to sacrifice their obelisk and take this map 2-0. Give our pros a round of a hand, folks. They cannot be stopped.
They're amazing. Yeah.
Rampage map that we managed to see from him, where he was doing rails, he was doing shotguns, he was doing rocket launchers, and he got like 7 or 8 kills in about a 15 to 20-second period. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, insane. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. We saw them, like I said, play. We saw them play Team Liquid yesterday on the same map. They seemed very coordinated, got it down. Devs don't got the advantage now with this map's been played a little bit during beta. So once again, the devs, they're up against it. They're up against it. But maybe, like I said, maybe they got a trick up their sleeve. Maybe they can get a power up here and there and change the momentum. Like I said, they got to get those power ups. If anything's going to change the momentum and give them a shot, it's going to be getting the quad, getting the protection.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely being able to control some of the bigger pickups as well, like the Mecha Health and the full armor kit. That was the other problem too, is that the devs often weren't ending up with that under their arsenal for the most part there. They would find themselves kind of outmatched. So, with that said, hopefully they can get themselves together, kind of rally around more of those objectives and be able to take those power-ups and use them. They were doing pretty good actually at the end of that last match on Lockbox there, having themselves a pretty close round, actually bringing it up to around 60 to 70% on their obelisk before the pros finally took full control and shut it down.
Yeah, it definitely got a little closer at the end. And then, like I said, we had that great comedy. That's going to be a good replay, the whole Noctis exchange.
Well, we're into it now, so let's take a look here at the pros just taking full control of the middle room. It's not actually looking like the devs putting up much resistance here. When they finally do, oh my goodness. Sync error just getting absolutely destroyed there by the lightning gun spam. And now the pros, like I said, with basically full control of that spawn room for the Soul, just walking right in. They get it. It seems like some of our devs tried to wait over here at the obelisk that more than likely the pros were going to go to. This is usually the preferred obelisk over here. So they try to wait out and counter it out so that they can battle for it as soon as the pros try to take it, but it seems like that strategy hasn't worked out too well, as they pretty much wiped the board clean of all the devs.
Well, in the end, individual skill does matter, and you can see, like, in these engagements where these pros are just laying into them. And even the teamwork, that one pro will hit him with a rocket, launch him in the air, and his teammate comes by with a railgun and just finishes him for him.
0-4 going to attempt to sneak in, see if he can steal this without being noticed here. He's dodged his opponent so well so far, but Noctis at the last second realizes what's happening and gets that instant rail kill. I think he followed it through killing the other dev a little bit further to the site, although he just got railed too. He's going to be a little careful now, because I'm not sure if he can eat the entirety of the next rail. He might be able to survive it a little bit, but ultimately Noctis gets some support from his teammates, and he ends up in an all-right position.
Yeah, I like how the tri-bolt there looks like it could be very effective for defending in that area. He was shooting it down from above, and you can kind of spread the bolts around and knocks them out of the area.
You can actually use it pretty well to deny a lot of choke points and whatnot, it seems. Like in a kind of like a little bit of like a spammy nature if you're expecting players to move in through that. But if you are willing to devote your time here, you can basically block off one exit or make one player have to take probably a pretty decent amount of damage going in if they want to try to push through one of those doors if you have the tri-bolt inside.
Impressive.
And for a lot of these devs here trying to work their way up the boost panel, Toxic there just to deny it immediately. The pros also managed to pick up that quad in middle as it has now just spawned, so they have that going for them, and it's not looking like there's going to be much resistance for the dev team so far in this round here.
Yeah, the pros there, if you notice, they were all around the quad in different positions. So one guy was on it, one guy was on the left side, another guy on the right side. They're surrounding it. It's just good coordination to make sure they're there to pick it up.
Toxic knows he's got one of the devs sitting over here in this room somewhere. Misses the rail just barely, but an immediate correction as it gets sponged out into the open. No theft of the soul to be found here right now, and now only 5% remains here for them to be able to actually take full control of it. You know, the devs are making a last-ditch attempt to try and push on to the obelisk itself, but it's not going to happen. The pros hold on and get a flawless round to start off this map.
Pure domination. It's pure domination right there. Not even getting to the second power-up spawn.
No,
they're
just a straight shot for the pros that time. I don't even know, did it even, I think it got stolen once, but it didn't get out of the actual point. It got dropped like a second later and then immediately put back inside.
I don't even think they got it.
I don't think they got it outside. I know they stole it one time, but I think that's as close as they got to actually getting that over to their base. Well, Toxic may have himself a fight nice and early here, but in the meantime, 0-4 also trying to move in. He's got the gauntlet, and he goes in for the kill. Gets that nice humiliation against Noctis there. Be a little careful going inside of the dot, but Toxic gets revenge a second later right outside, as I'm pretty sure the pros have already managed to take control of the Soul and their preferred obelisk.
And now these rails coming in from Toxic, Noctis. These guys, it's almost hard to tell. They're getting shot from so many different angles, these devs.
They even helped out the devs a little bit here. They changed up the obelisk this time as they went over towards B to try and control it here. Nice dodge from Fazz. He gets that injection in. Was getting a little bit dodgy there, like he might have lost that fight, and that could have led to the loss of their soul. So he prioritized his life there for a moment, backs up, plays a bit more passively, and stops the soul from even being taken. And reads into that one as well. Teammate coming in to help out. So we do see Stermy or Toxic able to rail out another member of the id team here.
Yeah, that's just good backup. I was talking about that earlier. Knocking somebody in the air with a rocket and having a teammate there to fall off the rail. Like, it's the most devastating combo in this game, this rocket rail combo. It hurts.
Well, the devs managed to get the soul at the very least, get it off the point. Now they have to hold on to it here. Sinkera managed to get it, but he's going to throw it really far away from himself. That's definitely an area where an opponent may be able to take this, and in fact, they try to race him to it. He looks to toss it again, but it connects off the ceiling. So whoever just retrieved it there on the soul line is going to have to go downstairs to try and fight for it. The pros have now retrieved it, and Fazz moves in, stops the last player trying to chase down the soul runner. And that's going to be 0-4 being eliminated, and it will be the soul re-secured for the pros.
Yeah, just a great shot. Shot him in the back. Nothing 0-4 could do there.
Oh, actually, no, I correct myself here. Sinkera did manage to get the soul back under the devs team control, so they've now stolen it. They take it over to the other obelisk now. They have it under obelisk. And the problem is that now their opponents have the quad. Sinkera trying to fight out here with the nail gun. Not going to be able to get much done with that, but he will, Fazz there, will get the soul as he leaps inside. Has to use that injection too, as he's taking a lot of damage from these dots, but he's also moving very quickly and gets himself a beautiful run right past the mega health, where he can jump in here, and now is going to be able to leap past, throw that soul inside, look to defend it now as the devs got aggressive, then is pushed right out, looking to immediately contest it in the event that this soul did go back over to the pros point, which it has, and so they now have everyone here trying to fight for it. Fazz looking to hold on, and they've done a great job of denying the devs from stealing this soul.
Yeah, what happened there earlier when we didn't realize, it looked like the pro players went to reorganize for the power-up for quad, and the devs, that's when they had their opportunity to steal the soul, but short-lived because they forgot about the quad.
Yeah. The quad definitely helps out there with restoring the balance. You can see here, Sinkera trying to move back in. Stermy in the backside was doing some good damage before, but just gets melted by Sink now. Nicely played. Oh no, he messed up that toss big time. Thankfully, he was able to retrieve it here now and just has to make the run back over to the other side, but he's going to end up just tossing it right over to an opponent here. So they've got the soul back. Now they just need to push it past these other devs and get it into their obelisk.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, man, they're just firmly in control. They're working it right now. And just the shots they hit. Look at the weapon switch right there. You know, he hit him with the rail. He didn't go for the follow-up shot. He switched to the super shotgun, you know, got those nice point-blank hits in there and finished the job. I mean, it's just good weapon selection.
Great shotgun work for Stermy. Moves in. No problem at all picking up the double kill here. Now just 5% remaining here until the pros will take control of yet another 2-0 victory here. Dev's able to steal it, and now Sponge is trying to make that run through the soul onto the ground and dash past it. Stermy fragging back out, but they weren't able, as far as I'm aware, to deny that soul. They got away with it, and now Toxic's trying to get into the way to stop them from completing the run.
Power up spawned.
Best of luck getting by Toxic with that railgun. Best of luck.
Yeah, now that they have the quad here, this seems like the team's going to be pretty much unstoppable. Toxic getting the soul. He's going to complete this run, get it inside. Devs have one more chance here. Sing can steal it. That's great, but Sing, you know, actually, no, Sponge comes in. I didn't realize that he had joined that fight from the other side. And now they managed to have themselves the quad, too, that they stole off one of the members of the pro team here. Leaping forward, Toxic doing a great job of denying this run again. This player is just running into him one by one by one. He outs every single one of them with some help from Noctis, and off of that, they should be able to complete the return of the soul and win out this match.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought the devs could get a little momentum. They had the quad, but just great shooting by the pros. That's why they're pros.
And now now look at the pros here. They're just playing around with the devs a little bit. There's still 5 minutes left in this match. They're just running the soul around their obelisk, not even wanting to put it inside.
This is putting it on, putting a little punishment on him, I guess, huh?
Yeah, just having fun playing with your food, I guess, in a way. Well, the devs did manage to steal it away, so they have it back over. Nice shot from Stermy, though, using the wall jump on the Nyx beautifully to hop over an opponent and then fire back. Now Fazz quickly moving back in here with the clutch so that he can engage onto the point. His teammates will run interference, knocking the devs out while he steals the soul, gets it outside of this room, and then tries to steal it. Doesn't even need to do the jumping either because of the passive ability that clutch offers. He continues to increase his movement speed as long as he goes in a straight line here, and that's why he's able to move so fast without needing to strafe jump.
looks like they went to toss it in there, or are they gonna finish the job? I'm wondering.
They've got a lot of presence back over at this point right now, but it's not looking like they're going to be able to carry any more of it there as the soul does get sacrificed inside of the Pros obelisk. They'll complete the game and once again take control of a map, so our Pros take yet another one there. It was looking so close for the devs, but at the end of it, the Pros just knew they had it under their control and ultimately shut down yet another map here against our development team.
Yeah, we saw a crazy sequence there in the doorway where it's just like the dev team was coming through. It was like 1 person dead, 2 person dead, 3 people. It's just death everywhere. All that was left of them was a pile of red goo.